had a lot of data points. And so I could tell like, okay, we need to focus on this problem first, and then kind of move along in a certain order. And eventually, I realized that, agency owners, if, instead of just relying on me and then eventually my co-founder to kind of sift through all of this, we could actually just get agency owners to tell us their issues and then vote them up on a public ideas list. And then we really know from there what those issues were. But early on, we were able to glean out some very key problems they were having, which is really what drove our product, and really kind of continues to drive it to this day. I've always been a software nerd, so that's never changed. But early on in my career, I got a chance to see kind of the impact that software can have on small businesses, and kind of fell in love with that, and kind of made that my career. And early on, high level, we really brought it out as a way to help small businesses. But we really found out early on how difficult it was for a small business to actually implement technology, even stuff that we sort of think of as simple technology. And when we kind of confronted that problem, we were lucky because we got a lot of people reaching out to us who were agencies saying, hey, look, we're actually the people that really solve for these issues in small business land every day. And so we were super fortunate because we said, okay, well, if we really want to help the small business, let's help the people that are enabling the small business. And so really that's kind of the story of high level, is we've just really said, listen, how do we enable the people who can help those small businesses with these tools? Because we know if we really want to help the small business, it's not about trying to sell them a product as much as it is selling somebody who can help them a product, and then helping them create a business around it and revenue around it. And that's what we've been kind of working on.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude, without a doubt. What were, when you launched that, right? When you guys decided like, okay, agency owners, that's going to be our jam, right? And those are the people that are helping people. What were some of the initial, because it's how it works for everybody, right? You get this great idea, this great thing, you're like, yeah, let's go do that. And then life kicks in and hits you in the face and you get hit with a bunch of adversity. What were some of the trying times or some adversity you guys faced early on, when you made that decision?
Well, I mean, I think, I would say the biggest thing is always like hey, well, it's cool that you guys do this, but you don't do that. So as a result, I'm not interested in using the product yet, right? Kind of thing. Where for years it was, yeah, you're right, we don't do social media posting, but, and it sucked because it was like, yeah, but we do all these other things that are more than worth using us for. But, you just mentally can't get over the fact that it doesn't do something that you were hoping it did. And so now all this other value we have isn't something you're interested in pursuing. And so it was a lot of like, okay, well, I'll get back to you, like, I'll see you in 6 months. Like, I'll get you eventually. And just really kind of going through that one step at a time, really, really having to say no to some people and yes to a lot more, thankfully. And then eventually getting back around to people. And, but that was that was every day for years.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I bet. So, where did you basically figure out like, all right, these are the problems that we got to solve for these agency owners just by having those conversations with them? Or like, how did you dive into
100%. That was just that simple. So just getting on call after call after call after call. And, I would sort of say, oh, hey, I'll get on a Zoom call with you and set you up. But then really it was about trying to understand the problem or the business they were running, or, their challenges as much as it was to try to help them get set up. And what was cool about it is, there were a lot of really important challenges that almost every agency owner was facing. And when you're the agency owner, you kind of live on this island, and maybe you're talking to some of your buddies, and maybe you have some perspective that they have these same issues. But on our side, I literally would talk to hundreds, and eventually it was thousands of agencies. And so I had a lot of data points. And so I could tell like, okay, we need to focus on this problem first, and then kind of move along in a certain order. And eventually, I realized that, agency owners, if, instead of just relying on me and then eventually my co-founder to kind of sift through all of this, we could actually just get agency owners to tell us their issues and then vote them up on a public ideas list. And then we really know from there what those issues were. But early on, we were able to glean out some very key problems they were having, which is really what drove our product, and really kind of continues to drive it to this day.
Yeah. I mean, shit. I mean, when you got, a product like yours as successful as it is, you're doing the market research because you're solving a huge problem if you're having the success that it is. So hell yeah, man, that's
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, without a doubt. I'd like to ask, so what I know you probably know so many different like cool stories of success stories of people coming in and using the product and being able to, do something really cool or something that happened because of that. What's like one of your favorite success stories that you've heard from somebody using Go High Level and what they've been able to do with
Yeah,
it?
so I mean, my favorite stories are always the ones that start from zero, because there's a lot of people who say, well, I have this existing audience or this existing business, and I was able to double or triple it. But I really am excited about the fact that we can help people start a business from nothing. The old agency model, it was always like, oh, I'm going to get you to 10 grand in 30 days or something. And the problem with that was that the 10 grand is a really big, nice number at the top. And the problem is nobody understood that below it was all of this work, and it was all custom, and it wasn't scalable. And really there was, if you really did your hourly rate, you might as well go get a job at the end of the day, even though you're quote unquote making 10 grand a month. And so we've been able to come in and say, no, don't do a bunch of bespoke services. Here's a scalable software-based platform that you can put in place, and you can create a very sustainable recurring revenue business that doesn't require that you never go on vacation again, and that you make less than you would make at a job. Like, I'm really proud of how many people that we've brought from zero to a sustainable business that's growing steadily every day, that doesn't require that they kill themselves to do it.
Amen. I mean, dude, come on now. For $97, I don't give a fuck who you are, dude. I came a little bit further along in business now, but when I first started, I came home from prison with nothing, dude, and like didn't even know how to use technology, but I figured it the hell out. You know what I'm saying? And $97, anybody can figure it the hell out for $97.
That was the goal. We always wanted to be the best deal in town, and we still are. And we've seen a lot of our competitors raise their prices, and we haven't. So I'm pretty excited about that. And and we don't trick people. We don't have like per contact pricing or per user pricing or any of this other nonsense. And so we just really felt like, yeah, I know.
That right there was one of the main reasons why I came over. Because
totally.
I won't even say, but I won't even say, but one of these CRMs, they were charging like a ridiculous amount per 1,000 or per 10,000 like contacts that you have. I was like, dude, that like you're trying to rape my business here.
Well, and that is actually the model for those businesses, and it's pretty funny because I feel bad for them, because just as an engineer and having been in the SaaS business my whole life, it'd be great if you could just create a great product and get it out to market, and people would pay you enough that you could be profitable and they could be happy. But unfortunately, there's with all the outside money that's come in, what's really become a thing is that their goal is to offer sort of like it's almost like a sneaky sort of price at the beginning to try to bait you in. And it's like, once they got you on the trap, they drop that trap on you, and it's boom, per user pricing, per contact pricing, per feature pricing. Like, the good ones actually, like the really sophisticated guys, they cut it all three ways, and they just know one way or another going to trap you into an $800 a month bill, in no time, because they're trying to pay for all the sales and all the ads and all the unprofitable ways that they acquire customers. So, but we saw that model, and from the very beginning, we thought that's just so unfair to people. So we just thought, gosh, can we find a different way? And lucky for us, we were able to do that.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the video. If you're an alpha business owner and investor trying to build a dominant brand, make sure you hit subscribe to this channel so you could do just that. And if you want to catch this full interview in its entirety, make sure you subscribe to the Underdog Empowerment channel on YouTube to catch this full interview. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to catch you on the next interview. Peace.